Hello friends, welcome to the Planet XSF channel. Thanks for being here. I'm Dave, and I'll be your waiter for this evening. In the months to come, I hope to cover lots of fun topics in genre entertainment, movies, classic TV, games, and whatever else I feel I can talk about semi-intelligently, leaning into semi. Today, we're going to launch the channel with episode 1, good place to launch, exploring the work of legendary producer and director Irwin Allen, and offering the first of a four-part series discussing Allen's unique and entertaining science fiction television work in the 1960s. If you've seen it, you either love it or you hate it. Let's start with a quick biography of this sci-fi legend. Irwin Allen was a prolific American film and television producer and director whose career spanned from the 1950s to the mid-1980s. He's best known for pioneering the disaster movie genre and creating entertaining and kitschy and iconic science fiction TV series. Irwin Allen was born Irwin O. Cohen on June 12, 1916 in New York City. He was known for his work in science fiction and later earned the nickname the Master of Disaster for his contributions to the disaster film genre. Allen's film production career began with RKO, where he produced films like Where Danger Lives in 1950 and Double Dynamite in 1951. He made his directorial debut with a documentary, The Sea Around Us, which won the 1952 Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature. One of his best-known films was 1961's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, starring former Dr. Morbius, not the other one, Walter Pidgeon, former professional creepy guy Peter Lorre, crooner Frankie Avalon, future genie Barbara Eden, and future Klingon Michael Ansara. The plot follows an advanced nuclear submarine, the Seaview, under the command of Admiral Harriman Nelson, going rogue to deal with the fire in the Van Allen radiation belt that surrounds the Earth, which is slowly raising the Earth's temperature. The film combines elements of adventure, science fiction, and disaster, reflecting the anxieties of the Cold War era and the fear of global catastrophe. Stick a pin in this. We'll come back to this later in this video. In the 1960s, Allen created and produced popular science fiction TV series such as Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Lost in Space, Time Tunnel, and Land of the Giants. These shows we'll look at in the next few videos. Allen's most successful productions included The Poseidon Adventure and The Towering Inferno. These led to Allen's nickname of Master of Disaster. He attempted to replicate the significant success of these films with films like The Swarm in 1978, which was unfortunately a box office failure and stigmatized bees for quite some time. He retired in the 1980s due to poor health and passed away November 2nd, 1991 in Santa Monica, California at the age of 75. His influence on blockbuster filmmaking and television sci-fi remains significant to this day. His disaster films set the template for ensemble casts and high-stakes spectacle, while his TV series inspired generations of genre creators. So, let's now take a deep dive, if you'll pardon the expression, into the classic TV series, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. No, that's not. Okay, good, thank you. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was a science fiction television series airing on the ABC network from 1964 to 1968. It was based on Allen's 1961 film of the same name, with significant costs being offset by the use of existing sets from the movie. Savings were unfortunately not reflected in the special effects budget. Despite what looks to us now as somewhat dated stories and visual effects, Voyage became one of the most influential sci-fi shows of its era. The series, as the movie, follows the adventures of the futuristic nuclear submarine Seaview, commanded by Admiral Harriman Nelson, in this case played by Richard Basehart, and Captain Lee Crane, played by David Hedison, ably assisted by Robert Dowdell as Lieutenant Commander Chip Morton, and Seaman Kowalski, played by Del Monroe, who was the only cast member to also appear in the 1961 movie, although he was referred to in the movie as Kowski. The crew undertakes daring missions to protect the world from threats ranging from Cold War espionage to alien invasions and sea monsters. The series as a whole has a lot of overarching themes. It blends military drama, science fiction, and adventure. Episodes often feature moral dilemmas, scientific experiments gone wrong, and battles with bizarre and clearly economically designed creatures. The series was known for its use of stock footage, including scenes from other Irwin Allen productions and 20th Century Fox films. And this use of stock footage was even more heavily employed in another Allen sci-fi series, The Time Tunnel, which will be the subject of its own video in a little while. There are particular patterns that emerge in each of the show's 4 seasons. Season 1 focused heavily on espionage, nuclear tension, and the fear of global catastrophe. It really reflected real-world anxieties about the arms race, sabotage, and technological warfare. The Sea View often acted as the last line of defense against world-ending scenarios. Season 2 was the first season to be filmed in color and included for the first time a smaller two-man submarine called the Flying Sub, which could, as the name implies, literally fly and perform other such important tasks as rescue, mining additional merchandising revenue, and the search for additional plot lines. Season 2 also saw the episode The Sky is on Fire, which was a remake of the plot of the 1961 movie, saving additional expenses through the reuse of special effects. Sort of like Star Trek's The Menagerie without the beep chair. Episodes in this season questioned the consequences of unchecked scientific experimentation through plots centered around several mad scientists up to no good with who knows what. Themes of responsibility, hubris, and the ethical limits of progress were central to this season. In season 3, we were introduced to monsters, aliens, and supernatural forces as ongoing staples of the submarine's adventures. These stories explored humanity's fear of the unknown and the limits of rationality. It's often framed as cautionary tales about tampering with nature or venturing too far, as indeed the series did in season 3 off the rails to some extent. It was during season 3 that two other series produced by Irwin were on the air, the second season of Lost in Space and The Time Tunnel, which we'll talk about in a few videos. If season 3 started a long, damp trip off the rails, season 4 lacked rails entirely, with time travel, alternate dimensions, and mind control as frequent plot devices, as well as mummies, werewolves, talking puppets, and evil leprechauns. Kind of wish I was joking about that. They were undeniably, however, fun to watch. The stories explored things like identity, fate, and the fragility of reality. The show was heavily marketed and merchandised, with model kits of the Seaview and the Flying Sub, as well as lunchboxes, gold key comic books, and other various brightly colored and potentially lead-tinged paraphernalia. I myself still have my Viewmaster reels that I inherited from my mother. Let's call it a running joke of the series is the crew being tossed from side to side as the Seaview suffers impacts, with the camera being tilted, and the actors directed to fling themselves hither and yon according to the direction the camera tilts. During filming, Irwin Allen would often cue the actors himself to lurch back and forth by banging on a metal bucket with a hammer. Although it's a technique that has been used many times by many other shows, looking at you, Star Trek, the enthusiasm with which it was directed and performed in the filming of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea led to it being referred to as the Seaview Rock and Roll. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea explored a wide range of themes, evolving from Cold War realism to fantastical science fiction. Its thematic richness helped define the tone of the genre itself on television in the 1960s. As mentioned, Voyage was contemporary with and followed by other Irwin Allen productions such as Lost in Space, The Time Tunnel, and Land of the Giants. So join me next time as we explore the vastness of the galaxy with no roadmap or budget. Let's explore Lost in Space. I'm Dave. Thanks for being here. Remain awesome until further notice. Season 1, filmed in black and white, focused heavily on espionage, nuclear tension, and the fear of global catastrophe. We can do that better. Episodes in this season question the consequences of In season 4, the plot lines evolved somewhat, emphasizing the submarine setting. Submarine setting. It's a me, Mario.